Hey gamers, today we're looking at Merchants of the Dark Road. Let's check it out. Just to let you know, I am showing you the Deluxeified version here. So with the Deluxeified version, they do give you these little player shields, but you don't really need them because they give everyone a little coin bag in the Deluxe edition here that you can store your coin in, and everyone starts with 5 coin. They'll just leave in the coin bag, secret from everyone else. Everything else is kind of public here. You're going to start with one of these steeds here. There are several steeds to pick from, and you can either pick or just deal them out randomly, which is how we do. And so you give one to each player. They will start with one, and it will have a special ability that's very self-explanatory on it. You're also going to deal out these little cards with the little stars on them. Deal them out, one to each player. It'll be their starting hero. And they will also get, for example, they get to know where the starting hero wants to go and what type of good they will start with. So with me, I will start with one of these little quartz gems here, and I will place it here. Every player does start with one horseshoe here. They have one illuminated die that they will roll and find out. They have 7 die they start with. They put a 1, 2, or 3 here, and then they roll the rest of the die. And yes, even one of the die faces are blank here. And if ever any of these 3 die are the same number as it says here on the board, you may reset them to 1, 2, 3. I'll explain what the meaning of that later. But you also start with one lantern here that looks really cool. The Deluxe edition does. You can either stand it up or lay it down. Either way you want. The board will comply to both of them, which I really like. Now, as for the player board, you're going to give every player an item that matches the number here on the turnstile here. So, for instance, first player gets the number 5, whatever that, you just randomly set this wheel. They'll get a number 5, second player gets this, third player gets this, fourth player gets this, etc., etc. They each start with 1. When you see this, by the way, this is a magnet, which is very cool. It just kind of magnifies on there, and you can easily turn around. So I think it's really awesome. But wherever you want to start it, you'll place 1 here, and then 1 of each die. You just place the die on there, matching the item that's listed there, and you ignore this one up here. Both players' carriages start right here on the track. You have your little prestige track. You'll all put there. You'll shuffle this familiars deck, deal out 3, and put one of these little 6-sided die on the one to the rightmost corner. You're going to shuffle all your regular heroes without the star on top and deal out 4 here. You're going to take these double-sided little buildings here and just shuffle them and put them randomly in the 4 corners. You always have an extra double-sided one you won't be using in any game. You'll have your dark road journeys, your shortcut journeys over to the side here. You'll have all the stacks of all the orders that you'll need segregated by each one of their little cities there on the board here. Over here, you'll have the little player bag. It'll start here on this rondelle. Over on this rondelle, this little map here will start right there. And then, of course, you'll place the little Lumi die right over here, and then you're ready to go. This game, shockingly, is very simple. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking one of the 3 actions from these die and then placing them in this area here, and then sometimes having the option to take your illuminated die and place it over there. So what do these options do? Well, everyone takes 1 turn, and they're going to be moving around the board taking options. But first, let me tell you what this player board does. If you take the number 1 option and move the die up here, you'll be able to get a resource, any resource here that you want. Now, that it has to match this die here. So this is a 1, so I would get a gun. So I could go into mine, you'd have guns and stuff over to the side here. If I'd get a gun, if it was a magic gun, I'd flip it over to the magic side. Ooh, or an upgraded gun. But right now, I'll just put it in my little grid here, my little, I don't know what this is, a 6x6 grid, but 6x5 grid. And you are always welcome to rearrange this grid whenever you want, okay? Now, of course, it depends on what side the die was on, would be what kind of item you would get, regardless if it was available in the market or not. You'd get one of those. And then you'd be able to do an action. Now, you have to move exactly that amount of pips there. If you wanted to move -1 or +1 to that, you would use your horseshoe. Once you use your horseshoe, it's gone. There are a way to get other horseshoes in the game, but they are limited to how many you can carry right here. So if I do that, I take the action, and then I move it over to the side, just off the board. Okay, and then I can set in any of these, replacing that other action like so. Now remember, if ever these are the same number, you can always reset them to 1, 2, 3 immediately once you place the other one. So sometimes you want to, if you had another 3, you want to put a 3 there so you can reset them and have different types of movement. Because again, you have to move that many spaces on the board. And as you see, there's 5 places to stop. And when you stop on any of these spaces, you'll be able to use any one of the 2 areas that you're located in. And sometimes when you use the illuminated die, you'll be able to use both those spots or one of these special building spots, which as you see here, says, hey, if you're using that illuminated die, you get to use that. When do you get to use the illuminated die? When you take the second one up into one of these, then you activate this. What it says is say, hey, if you have an illuminated die, you can place it here. Now, what does that do? Well, first off, like I said, it's going to give you 2 actions wherever you stop. But at the same time, you get to choose whether you want to move 2, or in this case, 3 spaces. Okay, so you get to choose which one of those. You don't add them together. You just choose which one you use and move that amount of spaces, and then take 2 actions instead of 1, or take one of these bonus actions with the illuminated die. And as you see, the rest of them on the board have the regular die, illuminated die. So illuminated die can take any action, but only illuminated die can take these special actions, which give you special rewards. Now, what do each one of these do? Well, let me just start off with the Great Bazaar. Great Bazaar says, hey, if you want to, you can turn the wheel 1. You don't have to, it's just optional. And then after that, you can take any one of these die and reset it to any way. So for instance, man, I really needed another weapon. So I take this one and I change it to weapon and put it there so I can at least get a weapon. Now, if I'd have done that, I probably wouldn't have turned the wheel because that would have made it very expensive there. But anyway, that's one thing you do. After that, you can buy whatever's on the wheel. And what you pay is the cost over to the side here. So if I wanted to buy the gun and maybe the wand, that would cost me a total of $5. But what if you can also have 2 items on one spot? So what if I had 2 staffs here? Well, I pay $4 and I get both of them. Now, what if you had 3 staffs there? You cannot have more than 2 on any area here. So once I'm done with my turn, I'd re-roll these. And let's say, well, that was a book. Well, let's say this one was a book too. Well, then I'd have to re-roll this one because you can't have 3 items on a spot there. But for instance, next time someone wanted to buy something, they could buy both of these books for 1. Not 1 each, just 1. So it's a way to get items cheaper. Now, of course, you have to fit them into your little wagon. If you cannot fit it into your wagon, you got to boot it out and substitute it for something, or just boot it out or rearrange it, or just not accept that item. So that's the Great Bazaar. Over in the commissions, very simple. You just take a commission. That's all you do. You take a commission to where it's going here, and you add it over here to your player board. Okay. Now, usually you kind of want one that matches up with where your guy is going. I'll explain this later, but I'm going to wing glass, so maybe I want to get this wing glass one. Or depending on the items I got. Now look at this. I got a gun and a potion. That's really good. If I could get a wand later on, that'd be great. But anyway, I put it over here and put it over my side, and that would be my turn. Now, I will say there is a mini expansion in here that I put in the game just to explain it to you. I can't remember what it's called, but the little mini expansion, one of these in it is letters. If I deliver this to Northbreak, I would get either 2 coin or 2 prestige points. And then over here, it says if I delivered it to this place here, which is Curse Karen, I think, I would get 4 prestige. Okay, so once you deliver it once, you flip it over and then deliver again for that. But that's like the little mini expansion there. All right. So moving on here, other things that you can do. If I was to move over here, well, I'll talk about excursions later. Let me go down here. If I was going to the Ringway Inn, I could give one of my stuff to these people, basically selling it to that hero and then collecting that hero. And as you see, I can have a total of 3 heroes. Again, if I add more, I got to boot some out of my shop there. But let's say this person wants a potion and this person wants a gun. I could take both of these people into my employ by selling them 1 gun or 1 potion. Or maybe just take her by selling a potion and gun. It doesn't matter how I sell this because always the amount that I'm selling it for is going to be right here. So a potion would give me $5. And what was the other thing I was selling? A gun. A gun only gives me 1. So I get $6 whether I want to take just this one or this one. And when I got them in, I would also take their special bonus. So both of these give me lanterns, as you see there at the bottom. This one wants to go to Winglass, which is good because I already got someone else that wants to Winglass. This one wants to go to Curse Karen, which, earlier I saw something for there. Maybe I want to go there later. Either way, I would collect my lanterns and add them to my board, like so. All right, and you can have up to 4 lanterns. Again, if you get more than 4, you just can't take them. Over here in the dark market, basically what you're going to be doing is paying a coin. You must pay at least 1 coin, and then you get both of whatever resource is there. Unless it comes down here, then it says, hey, you can either grab one of those contracts up there, or grab one of these in-game point things. Now, I say in-game points. If it says VP, that's something you set aside for the end of the game. Sometimes they give you money. Sometimes they give you prestige if you do different things. So if I have 4 unique item types, when it comes to these people, I guess, then I can cash this in for 4 coin. They're very self-explanatory, all of them all to give you coin or prestige in the game. Also, like I said, the buildings they're kind of self-explanatory what they do on their buildings there. But the last one, the big one I'm talking to you about is the excursions here. When you go on an excursion, for instance, one of the things you can go to the ruins of Yin, just not go out here. And what it does is it says, hey, you may move this 1, so I'd move it 1 space, and I get a magic item. That's what this icon means. I get a magic item of either one of these, or either one of these, or either one of these, or any type of magic item I wanted. And again, magic items are just ones that you would turn over and flip over to show their little gold side there. But once you get one of those, you can also move it 1+ for every hero you have. So I start here, I can move it 1 for free, and then 3 more spaces, 1, 2, 3, and then get any magic item I wanted. Now look at this. I needed a wand, so maybe I go ahead and I get a magic wand. And I put the magic wand in the space like so. All right. So that's one of the things you can do. And also, if you spend one of your lanterns, you can roll this die and get the reward. And basically, the book will tell you what each one of the symbols do, but it's very simple to understand. Now, the other thing you can do is you can travel. And you go to one of the cities in one of the 3 regions here. You got purple, green, and blue, but you're going to just one of those towns. Anyone who goes with you can go with you, but they don't have to necessarily visit that town, but they have to visit that region. So if you're going to Night Poem, they can go to Curse Karen if they travel with you, and so on and so forth, just as it matches the color. But then you announce, hey, I'm going to, in this case, I'm going to Windglass. Who wants to come with me? And let's say, so I'm going, so I get one of these die. And if another player says, yeah, I want to go with you, Matt, then now I get 2 die. I'll explain the purpose of this later. And then now I get to pick one of my little travel companions, birds or dragons or ravens, whatever I want. I pick this one and take it with me. Now, if I take the one to the right, I will get another dice to roll. So maybe I get that one, and then these shuffle down, and then a dice will be put right there on the next one there. But anyway, now that I'm there, I have to decide whether I want to travel the dark road or take a shortcut. If I travel the dark road, that's fine. I don't have to do anything. I just roll these die. And what we're going to do in player order, starting with me and then the 2nd, 3rd, 4th player in that round, I rolled a 6, a 5, and a 1. So as you see, I got a 6, a 5, and a 1. Now you see, if I roll 1 or 2s, those are bad. But 5s and 6s, 6 probably being the best, this says I can take any item I want, regular item, or I can take 3 coins. Well, maybe I want 3 coins. I take 3 coins. Next player, they're going to take this for sure. Well, the next player has to lose 2 coins or 2 prestige. Now, for 1 lantern, they're allowed to re-roll the die and see if they can get a higher roll. But that's kind of how this works. Now, if I was to use one of these shortcuts, I would pay all 3 of my lanterns and then roll the die. And let's say I got a 6, 5, and 1. And these are like a little bit better rewards. Like this one, I would get to grab one of the characters over here. And by the way, when you're done grabbing characters, you'll just restock it there. And I should also mention one of the other little things in the mini expansion are these little priests here of Lumi. Basically, they just give you some prestige or whatnot, and they can go anywhere. They can travel to any city. You just drop them off anywhere. That's from the little Patrons Provisions mini expansion. But anyway, as you see, the penalties are even a little bit worse there. You lose an item or you lose 3 coin. So it's risk reward when you're coming here. Now, either way, whatever you decide to do, you announce it and you go. Now on this one, it makes you who spent all your lanterns go last for some reason. So you're most likely to get one of the penalties here, which I don't understand that. So we made a house rule that you definitely go first on this one. That's not in the rule book, but that's the rule book. That's the rule for me. Because I think that's such a steep penalty to get something bad. Why would you spend all your lanterns? Because lanterns are hard to get. Anyway, so either one you take, everyone picks the die. Then you go to these areas, and then what you're going to be doing is you're going to be delivering either your goods here. And as you see, I had all 3 goods. Now, if I had, and the board will tell you this, if I only had 1 good, I'd get 1 prestige. If I had 2, I'd get 3. If I had all 3, I'll get 6. So I move up 6 on the board. But one of these was a magic item. Yay! And if it's a magic item, then what it says here is, hey, I get 1 extra prestige per magic item. Huzzah! So I then move up 1 more and get some extra prestige there. Also, if you are the first one to any of these cities, you're going to get 5 coin as well. So you're going to add those 5 coin. Then, depending on which road you took, if you took the dark road, you get one of these upgrades here. You can get an illuminated die, which is this. Once you use the illuminated die, it's gone. It leaves your board. You don't get it back. So you can grab another illuminated die, or you can grab one of these cards here. Again, these cards can give you some in-game points or special prestige or money. Prestige and money can be in-game points at the end of the game. And I should mention, whichever one you take from, you can take from the top. But if you took from the top of the deck, but you would get none of the rewards. This gives you 2 prestige. This gives you a horseshoe in any regular item from the item thing. I should also mention over here, if you're paying with magic, so if I had sold this magic wand, I didn't have a magic wand yet, but if I sold this magic wand to someone, not only would I have gotten money for it, but I would have gotten +1 money. So the wands are worth 4, so I would have gotten 5 for a magic wand, and I would have gotten another one of these quartzes. Now, what do these do here? Let me go off the beaten path again and show you. You can place them on these characters, and this lets me take one of those little runes of yin actions, or this one gives me 2 lanterns on my board. And once you use the second one, then this is out. You can just flip it over and keep it with you, though, because there are things that can help you score in-game points with that. But that's what you use these for. And those are free actions whenever you use the little blazing quartz on those little familiars up there. So that's why you may not want to pick the one on the end, because there may be some other ones you may want instead. And again, the rule book tells you what each one of these do. The iconography is really not bad. However, another one of the things you can do is you can get 3 coin there. Now, if you took the shortcut, you can get any 2 of those rewards, even if it's the same type. All right? And also, only once in the game can you get a wagon upgrade. And these go over the 3 spots here, or this one just goes anywhere on your board, which means, so when you activate this, you'll also get 2 victory points, or you'll get just 2 victory points in the game is what that means, on top of your in-game score. But all of these can enhance any of these bottom actions here, and they're very self-explanatory. So what you're doing is you're going around trying to gather items, complete contracts. Oh, I should say, when I was at Windglass, I could also deliver these 2 people here. I just flipped them over, and I would get the reward printed on the city. Sometimes it's just 2 coin, or sometimes it's 2 prestige, or sometimes it's 1 prestige and 1 coin. So whatever you do, you're also going to get those rewards per hero you deposit. It's also going to open up some spots. Now, I should say, if you are removing any of these people, there's some of them that can carry. They have a little icon here. Here's one. He has an icon here. That means he can carry one of your items. If he leaves, then you must bring that item back into your wagon. If you can't fit it into your wagon, you got to boot it out. So that's one thing you got to keep in mind. But anyway, the game keeps going as you keep using your die throughout the game and replacing with other die until you get to this scenario. Now, when you place this die up here, the only difference is now you can get any type of regular item you want instead of just what's printed on here, when it's the last one there. And then once you use all of those, what everyone's going to do is take away one of their die and then reset this to 1, 2, 3, and then re-roll these die, place them on the board here, and go again. Once everyone's done that, they'll put the 1, 2, 3, remove another one, roll again, one more time, and then on the final time, they'll take one final action. Once they've used all their die, I think it's at the 13th round or however many turns there are. Once they've used all their die, and there's only 3 left, there's no more left to re-roll after that. What you're going to do is everyone is going to take one more travel action to wherever they want. And then you're going to add up all your coin. You're going to add up all your prestige. Any of these that give you prestige or coin, you're going to add it to. Whichever one is the lowest will be your final score. And then from there, you can add up any VP cards, anything that says VP. And then whoever has the most victory points wins. Final thoughts. What do I think about the game? Wow, this has been a long time coming. I've been looking at this game on and off, almost bought it twice over the past 2 years now. And now I finally got in a trade, got the Deluxe edition. I will say this, it is a good game. I like how it uses, I knew it was right up my alley, because it uses rondelles and pick up and deliver. And like I said, there's a lot of rondelles on this game. And it's not all rondelles, but there's a few there that you're toying with. Plus the dice selection, dice placement thing. There's a lot of strategy here because you find out where other people are going and saying, they may be traveling soon and they're going there. So maybe I can bring a hero along and go with them, because it really doesn't cost you anything. It may be costly if the dice don't roll your way, but make sure you have a lantern so you can re-roll those die to kind of mitigate that luck there. But the thing is, though, you kind of want it forces you to have different contracts and different people out there so that anyone who goes on a trip, and they'll gladly take you because that gives them extra die, which gives them extra choices, but you're also scoring points. You always want to make sure that you're taking advantage of any trip out there on the dark road. And that's the beauty of the game, because there's not this focus on, okay, I'm just going to go all in on, the green area or the purple area or the blue area. No, man, you do want some matches, like I match Wing Glass there. I'll match a few myself, but you always want some other ones. And you look and see what everyone else is getting. You're like, oh, they're going to go on a trip soon, so I better get ready so I can go with them and make some extra money too. Because that's what it is. It's taking advantage of every single turn. And boy, you can start getting some bonuses when you start playing these pet familiar cards. And man, I was just, because I had 3 quartz racking up points, which got me more quartz, which got me more actions, which gave me more areas. And I really had a huge turn. And that's when I took the lead. And I love that there's this balance of, whichever one is the lowest. There's several games that use that. Whichever one of your 2 scores is the lowest, that's the one you're going for. And, like Crown of Amar is one I just played recently again. And I love that aspect. And here they have the same thing. So everything about this is pretty good. Now, I will say this. I've come not to be a big fan of Elf Creek games. Just something about them just rubs me the wrong way. And I have played Honey Buzz. I did not like Honey Buzz. I thought Honey Buzz was a little too simple and just the same game over and over and over again. This one I would say is not, because like I said, the different cards that are coming out, the different items you can get, there's so much replayability here. It's really impressive. So this one I'm glad I have. You can get the deluxe edition for cheap for deluxe. I've seen this as low as $75. Okay, and as high as $150, which $150 for all these great deluxe pieces, I think it's fantastic. Usually you don't have a fantastic deal for that price, but I do think this is a fantastic deal. So, and even if you just get the base game looks fine too. And it's even cheaper to get, because I think this game, I don't know, it looks like it kind of failed. It's not going anywhere, sadly. I don't hear many people talk about it, but of course, games like that are right up my alley. So for me, I like it. Happy to have it in my collection. All right, gamers, that's it for now. Until next time, you know what to do. Game on!